Today we're going to talk about creating a report. We'll click on our database, and as you can see, we have our previously created parts of our database. We can look at the table, and we have two people there. We can look at our query, and our query is now populated. Let me close this one for you. Our query is now populated because we have some information. We have our form. So we have all the parts we need in order to create a report. So in order to do this report, we're going to pick our contacts form query. Now you could create a query just for your reports as well, but since the same information from the contacts form query is going to be on our report, we'll just use that one. We're going to go up to the top, go to the reports section, and we're going to click on report wizard. We want all of our information from our query. Click next. Do you want to add any grouping levels? This is if you had certain businesses, or if you wanted to group everybody from South Carolina, or everybody whose last name started with Brown. You could do that, but for right now we're not going to go into that. We're going to click next. We do, however, want to have everybody done by their last name, so we're going to sort by last name. And we're going to pick tabular for our report layout. We could do justified or columnar, but for our purposes we're going to do tabular, and we're going to do landscape just to show you how to move things around. Normally you'll do them in portrait. So we're going to click finish, and it's going to take a second, and then we're going to have our report. And here you can see we have our they're sorted by last name, title, first name, middle name, and all of our fields are located on the form. Now there's some fields that we can't see. These were put onto another page because when Access creates the report, it does it by the field size that you initially created it. This doesn't work very well on forms because with just these two people we'll probably have 3 pages of report. So now we're going to get into how do we change our report to have the information show up on one page and in a nice orderly manner. When customizing our report, we're going to first go to our layout screen, again bottom right, or we can do it on our left. And here we see the different fields that we have located on our report, and as you can see you have to scroll all the way over to the right to get to all of your fields. Now this won't do because you won't have all of your information on one page. So what we're going to do is customize our report by designing it so that all of our fields are on one page. We will begin doing this with a process called concatenation. This is when you have different strings of text, let's say the first name, middle name, last name, and title, all appear in one bound box. In order to do this, we have to do a little bit of coding. I'm stretching these out so that we'll have ample room to work in. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up here. We're going to choose text box. We're going to click down here in the details section of our form, and you'll see we have an unbound box and a text label. We do not need the text label, so we're going to delete it, and then we're going to click the unbound box. On your right you'll see property sheet. We want to make sure we're looking at the correct unbound box, which is text 25, and then we're going to go to control source. In here is where we're going to have to put our formula. So the formula for concatenation is the equal sign and open brackets. Next you'll put the field name you want. So the first one we have is title, close brackets. Then we're going to put an and because we want to join something to it. We're going to put open parentheses, open quotations, space, close quotations, and an and sign. This will put a space between the title and our next field, which is first name. Close brackets. Again, we have to do the and, quotation, quotation, and, bracket, name, close bracket, and sign, quotation, space, quotation, and sign. And finally we have last name, So open bracket, L name. And as you notice, sometimes I'm capitalizing letters and sometimes I'm not, but that's okay. We're going to close the bracket. We're going to push enter. And to make sure that what we did was correct, I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. We'll go to view. And you can see it did the entire name with the title, first name, middle name, last name in one box, as opposed to up here where it's title, first name, middle name, last name. Now we'll go back to our layout view. And we no longer need this as last name, so we'll put name and address. We're not going to use title anymore, but we will be using another row. We'll put phone and email. Okay, so we've already got last name, so we can get rid of that. We can get rid of title, get rid of first name, both of them, middle name. And now for address, we're going to move our field with our name here. We're going to move the address over. Extend it a little bit. And now we have a decision to make. Again, if you look at the address in view mode, it's Townsville space South Carolina, huge space 29115. We're going to concatenate that again. So as we move this unbound box over, we're going to concatenate the city, state, and zip. So we'll resize the box, go up here to our control source. So to concatenate the rest of the address, we're going to pick our text box, put it here. We're going to get rid of our label, move our unbound box to where we want it to be, stretch it wider, and then go over to our data section under our property sheet, and we'll put in the code. It will be equal, open brackets, city, close brackets, and quotation mark, comma, because there's a comma between city and state, quotation mark, and open brackets, state, close brackets, and quotation, space, quotation, and open brackets, zip, close brackets. Press enter. And now when we go to view, you'll see that we have condensed all of that information into one box. Notice there is a border around it to get rid of that border so that it looks like everything else. We'll go back over here to the property sheet, click format, look for border style, change border style from solid to transparent, and go back to our view, and you can see that the box is gone. The last thing I'm going to do here is move some more of my fields around. I'm simply going to highlight all of them at the same time, bring them across the sheet, fit them in about right there, and then I have to go over to the edge of the sheet and make the form itself smaller. So I'm going to grab it here on the edge. I have my arrows pointing left and right. Left click and hold it and bring it back. Most printers print 8.5 by 11. 8.5 is here, but you have to remember you have your border area, so you want it to be less than 6.5, possibly around 6. We get it to 6. We're going to move this way so we can have some more room for these two boxes. The now puts in the time, the date and time if you want it, but it's on long date right now, so it'll be the day, the month, the date, and the year. And this one says page number of how many pages. So we'll click on view, and we have Friday, December 7th, 2012, page 1 of 1, and we have our addresses in correctly. That's it for creating a report. It's a very simple report, and as I said earlier, there are other things that you can do, but that's for another class. Right now we're just getting the basics done. I hope you've enjoyed the series, and I look forward to doing some more videos to help you with your Microsoft Access solutions.
Thanks.